Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We are starting this wonderful podcast with cool cyberpunk-ish music. Because what are we going to be talking about today?
Yeah. Conspiracy theories.
Yeah, so if you hear that cool sci-fi sounds in the back, and that's the weirdish looking. Does that sound sci-fi enough for conspiracy theories? Okay. Also, we have a special guest because Oreo was chirping so loud and he wanted to join.
Bad.
Yeah, he was being bad. And Doc was wanting to go outside, so. Yeah,
Children, what are we gonna do with them?
for real.
Hi, Oreo.
Oh yeah, if you hear him, I'm so sorry. He is just
Opinionated.
very, very.
A
And
perfect co-host for this podcast.
Right, he thinks I'm talking to him. So he's like trying to talk back, and I'm like, no, baby, I'm not talking to you. So let's see. So we got computer. Okay, so let's get started on conspiracy theories. So there are so many out there, right?
Oh, so many.
What are some? I don't know how. Like, cause like I'm. You know what? I need to look up.
I think like the ones that are the most prevalent in conspiracy theory wise, at least in America, are the Illuminati, obviously,
Yes.
aliens,
Yes.
and lizard people are the most common ones. Like,
No,
there's
no, no,
all
no.
kinds of like sub-genre kind of conspiracy theories, but obviously those are the most common.
Okay, not only that, what about like, oh, we faked the moon landing, or oh, what was it? Time travel exists, and there are people from the future who came to the past, or because these are some things that that I know I was talking to my husband about time travel, especially. That's like a weird conspiracy theory, or
As Deslian, sorry if I mispronounce,
flat Earth.
mentioned
Yeah.
in the flat Earth. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry I forgot that one because that tops everything, including the Illuminati lately.
Because
And there's more. How do I put this? More ridiculous ones, I would say, than flat Earth. Like, people are getting implanted with 5G with these COVID vaccinations.
That's the most recent one, right?
That's the most recent one I've been hearing that is really popular.
Just Yeah, Oreo agrees.
So let's straighten our tinfoil hats for this conversation and let's dive in.
Okay. I do have like, I guess, go-to conspiracy theories that I personally have. Like, I'm like, just like I said, time travel, does it exist? Does it not exist? And aliens. Aliens, though, I feel like it's too... The answer is yes. At least for me.
Yeah. Same. Like, I would agree with you very much about this, that the universe is far too fucking big and far too arrogant of the human race to assume that we are the only intelligent beings in the entire universe. Fair, we might be the only intelligent creatures in the Milky Way galaxy, but that's not the universe.
No, let me ask you this. By intelligence, what do you mean by intelligence? Would you consider, for example, a dolphin? A dolphin would be considered intelligent.
Well, here's the thing. I was about to answer that any creature that can use a tool, and dolphins can use tools. Crows can use tools, elephants can use tools, chimpanzees can use tools. Any creature that can use a tool of any sort, any kind of, no matter how primitive it is.
So if they could use tools, they would be considered intelligent.
I would consider them intelligent. I I would not say that my standards are a universal standard for this conspiracy theory, but
Right.
I would
I
I would
don't think
definitely say that.
so. I don't think that we are the only intelligent life, and even in the Milky Way, because there's still so much of the Milky Way we have yet to explore.
Right.
So this is what I think. I think that another, you know what, I need to write these down because I have so many conspiracy theories that I have to think about. So because like you said, we as a human race, like you said, we're very arrogant. We're like, oh yeah, we are the only, like, there are people who genuinely believe we're the only like intelligent life in the universe. That is not true. Just because they have discovered water and possible plant life in other planets, we can't be the only like living things in the universe. So, and just like how we evolved, more than likely they will or have evolved. We just haven't found them yet. Just like we are still in the process of, like, I guess. Wait, what is Elon Musk doing? Because I think, isn't he trying to like send people to space?
To Mars.
To Mars.
But we've been trying to do that for decades, is trying to send people to Mars. He's also, like, kind of privatizing, like, space travel.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Go up there then.
I don't, like, I feel like it's a monetary thing, that he's not doing it for the pureness of science. I think he's doing it for capitalism and profit.
Well, and there's people who are going to be like, yes, I want to go.
I mean, yeah.
Mars.
And that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to visit another planet, but I personally don't want to have to travel for 2.5 years to get to Mars.
Right.
That's just me personally. Some people, well, you know, I would say, sure, after this pandemic, I want to travel, but, like, I also don't want to be cooped up for 2.5 years again.
That's true.
To get to Mars.
That is true. What about the moon? Would you ever go to the moon? Wasn't there, hold up, isn't there something about like sending civilians to the moon? I thought I heard about this from recently.
Not the moon, but I do think they're trying to do like space hotels kind of situation. I don't think they're like...
Oh, you're right. It's just into space in general.
Right. Space first and then moon later.
Yes. The first all-civilian mission. That's what it is. SpaceX, which is the Elon Musk space. Yes. Hello, baby.
I have a fear of deep water. I have a fear of, like, not knowing the depths of really open water, and I feel like space is like an extreme version of that. Yeah. So I like, it's cool and everything, but I don't think so. I think it would freak me out way too bad.
I don't have that. I have a natural curiosity. I love space and I love the ocean. I genuinely believe that because, you know, there's still so much of the ocean that have yet to be explored. And most of it is because we just don't have the technology to explore all of it yet, just like in space. So if I had a chance and they'd be like, hey, you want a free lotto to go to space, you know, I'd be like, hell yeah, send me to fucking space. I want to see that. That's for me, my biggest like curiosity is to see space. And there's this TikTok that I follow where these astronauts are in space and they show the world, like the view of Earth from space, and it's by far like the most visually stunning thing I've ever seen, you know. But I think us as humans, we're never going to go beyond the stars, like farther than, I don't know, the moon, I guess, because we just don't have the technology. I don't think we have the right materials, if that makes sense, for us to deeply explore space. Kind of like, see, and this is why I also love space. I don't think you've ever played Mass Effect, have you?
Like, we have a mutual friend that loves Mass Effect.
Yes. And I absolutely adore Mass Effect. Like, I love Mass Effect. One of my favorite games. So Mass Effect only it only made me feel much like if I had the opportunity to go to space, I would go to space. I want to go to space so bad, and Mass Effect has helped with that. I highly doubt there are sexy aliens like they have in Mass Effect. However, you know, I'd still go. I will say though,
Yeah.
it would be fun. It would be a very interesting thing to see alien creatures, I guess, come down. Well, not even come down to Earth, because like I don't know. Because like I view aliens to be something that's definitely like not like a humanoid. They could have tentacles essentially. You know.
Yeah. They're, like I said, like anything that can use a like a tool, and like chimpanzees, elephants, dolphins, octopuses, all of those do not look like humans except for the chimpanzees. So anything we could like anything could show up if they ever wanted to make contact with humans.
Could you imagine sentient spiders as aliens? Because that's kind of like how I would view an alien.
I would rather not, thank you.
But like, think about it. Like they could be
Yeah,
like
it's a
spider-like
possibility.
creatures.
Spiders are really smart.
Yeah. That's what I view aliens to be like. I mean, they could very much look like us, and we'll never know. But I feel like to view aliens in a way that's definitely not human, I feel like it's very interesting. But yes. So conspiracy theory is it considered a well? I mean, yeah. But do you really? I guess the conspiracy theory is
into. I think the conspiracy theory is it's like that aliens have made contact with
us. Do you
and
believe
that
that's
they
true?
have? Well, that's a complicated question. Well, no, it's not like complicated. It's just like it has a very elaborate answer to that. I don't think they've really made contact with your average Joe Schmo kind of person. I can't guarantee
Average
that they
Joe
haven't
Schmo?
made. Like, you know that there are people that claim that they've been abducted by aliens. And I'm not, like, that's their own experience.
Yeah.
Whatever
You're
they
not joshing
experience,
on them.
they have trauma for whatever they experienced.
Mm-hmm.
I do not believe aliens would actually make contact with people like that. They may make contact with our world leaders, but after Donald Trump, I wouldn't blame them if they didn't make contact with our world leaders.
I have a theory. So, let's say, because you said I don't think they'll contact a regular Joe Schmo. But what if they did? What if, maybe not now, but in the past, in history, when we didn't have like all of the technology we have now, right?
So what part of history are you referring to? Are you referring like
before technology, before like I guess the digital age, okay? Before the digital age. That's what I'm talking about.
All right. So Dark Ages, Egypt, things like
anything
that.
Before the digital age.
Okay.
So that would be maybe 19. Wait, what was the first? So like I guess
I think
the 1900s.
Maybe,
before the 1900s.
I think maybe the earliest would be 1850 because technology goes back a lot further than most people realize.
Well, yes,
so
but I'm talking about like recorded technology, I guess, kind of like the radio, the television, all of that, like light bulbs and all of that. Fine, but like I'm talking about like radio and television, all of that stuff.
Like
before computers, definitely. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
It's like technology that can be recorded. Because, like, I personally believe, and it could even be earlier than that, you know. I personally believe that aliens possibly did visit us. And maybe gave us some info or something. Because, you know, now that we're in the technological age, I guess, we are moving so fast. that it's like it's a lot of us can't even keep up, you know, because in the span of the 90s, you know, everything that we had in the 90s, our Walkmans and our calculators and all of that could be now fit in our pocket. So I think, and this is just a conspiracy theory, obviously, we had help. I think we had help trying to push us forward with technology. And now we're moving so fast that, you know, a lot of us just, as humans, we're trying to keep up with everything that's going on. Do I think that we use technology? You know, like, I think there's an underlying thing for using technology. But I do believe that we had help from aliens. Also,
I,
it's a loose belief. You know what I mean? I'm not like,
I
obviously
yeah,
I'm just like throwing theories, but that, like, I do think
aliens.
it could be a possibility.
I don't know. Like
Do you see what I'm talking about though?
I do. I absolutely do. I watch, what is it, Ancient Aliens. I really love that show. I think it's
Aliens.
I really like that show. I think that they have like a lot of compelling evidence for what they bring forward. And
Right?
it's like they always say these theories. They're not saying what they're presenting is fact. They're like, these theories. This is a theory. And theories haven't been proven as fact. They're not
Mm-hmm.
even saying this is hypothetical. It's a theory.
Yeah.
People need to get their ass out their head out their ass,
Mm-hmm.
saying that these guys 100% like state that this is fact. No, it's whatever. I enjoy it. I think it's a good time to watch. Me and my dad really enjoy watching it.
I'm not saying
But
anything. I believe a lot of people have watched that, or else it
yeah,
wouldn't have been a meme. You know?
I like that guy's name is Giorgio, and I love him. I think he's a riot. He has some of the most compelling stories, and he's
Right.
so interesting. I really enjoy him. But kind of circling back around to have aliens make contact with us. Again, I don't know, but it's hard to discredit that they aren't watching us and observing us, because I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you're familiar with this. Some of our viewers might, and future viewers might, but there is a thing called the Black Knight satellite, and it is this dark mass that has been floating above in our atmosphere
Yeah.
as a satellite for decades.
Mm-hmm.
I think they say it's been up there for like 35 years, and it there's images online. You can go look up the Black Knight satellite, and it doesn't look like any satellite that Earth has
I
created.
have heard about this. Yeah.
Right. So it's a pretty popular theory. So, and it's always, when you look at images, it always looks like what would we as humans would perceive the front is always facing down, like it's observing Earth.
Oh.
And it doesn't, last I heard, it doesn't have like a hard orbit around Earth, like a fixed
That's
orbit, like a lot of our
interesting.
satellites are. So it
Yeah.
kind of moves around. Um,
Interesting. And we haven't thought of shooting it down or anything. We're just like, all right, you can
it
observe us.
hasn't, from, I think the only reason why nobody's really, I mean, it might have come up because we're not in closed door meetings with world leaders and stuff like that. It might have come up at some point, someone wanting to shoot it down. I think the only reason it hasn't been attempted is because it is an atmosphere. It's an orbital atmosphere, so it's high enough up that it would be very difficult for our planes to get up to it to shoot
Mm-hmm.
it down. But another thing is it hasn't done anything.
Still though, that's interesting.
All it's done is just orbit Earth and done nothing.
Hmm. I see. I remember. I remember we talked. Like we had a conversation about this. So you
Yeah.
think it could be aliens? Aliens.
I I don't know if there are aliens living on board,
Right.
or if
Oh,
it's just an unmanned item like our other satellites just reporting back what it.
interesting.
I don't know because it's been there for an extremely long time.
Right.
So if someone or something was living on there, if they are to have a normal lifespan like us, they may have passed. They could have died if someone is
Oh,
manning that.
okay. That's very interesting.
Right.
So they do exist. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Aliens.
Aliens. No, I do think that we like they're either something that we just cannot comprehend, or
Right.
something that is they could be living among us and we just don't know. Kind of like the lizard people. You know that.
Which is yet another alien conspiracy theory. Well, it kind of goes two ways. It's like lizard people that have come from under the earth that evolved separately from Homo sapiens, or that they are lizard aliens that have come to live among us on Earth.
Right, 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 right. And it doesn't help that like Area 51 is seen as, oh, this is where they keep the aliens, and none of us could like see it or talk about it or anything. Well, okay, first of all, they have proved that there are UFOs in
Right.
Area 51. However, UFOs could also be considered unidentified flying objects, not technically alien. You know what I mean? They're just flying objects that they have yet to identify.
And that doesn't mean, like, the US isn't the center of our world.
Obviously not. That's why I'm
We-
like, what if aliens did come, but they were like with the indigenous people, you know, or something like
Right.
that?
Like, a lot of, like, natives to America and untouched civilizations throughout the world, like, a lot of them have origins stating that they've come from the stars,
Yeah.
where their ancestors came from the stars.
Mm.
So, but like UFOs, shit, like Russia could be developing something that we've never seen before, and when it comes flying over, it's like, it's unidentified.
Yep.
It's a flying object. It's now a UFO, even though it's man-made.
Right, 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 right. So I know that's like one big thing for us humans to think about is just outer space, you know, and all of that, because it's just so huge and expansive, and we just don't know what could be out there. And that, like that in itself is, you know, it's very interesting, because we're like,
And
okay,
to
well,
some,
we can
it could be very terrifying.
and yes, and to some it could be absolutely terrifying. So, let's move into what's within our worlds. Conspiracy
You
theories.
mean our flat world?
Yes, I was about to get into, yeah. So we have
Uh,
the flat Earth.
God.
Well, I guess this is considered space, but like our moon landing, did we actually land in 1969? Like, is that a thing? What about the Illuminati? All of
I mean-
that. Oh, so
Yeah.
like so I pulled up just a list of conspiracy theories.
Okay.
Most of this is directed for the US, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Are you good? What about the birds who work for the bourgeoisie? All the birds are not real birds. They have cameras in them. You
Oh
wanna go up here?
God, your bird is so bougie.
He's just monitoring me.
Oh wait, you said bourgeoisie. Oh my
Yeah.
bad. He's still bougie.
Yeah, he is still bougie. He a bougie bird.
Mhm.
I give him everything. So
Enabler.
yeah, no. So, what is for you the, I guess, most interesting, and by interesting I'm like the things that like you love to read about, conspiracy theories of, I guess, our generation, because we lived through a lot.
Shit, Christ, millennials, goddamn.
Yeah, no, we lived through a lot, because we had to deal with So I'm looking here. We have to deal with like, okay, we have the Illuminati. I know that's something that's
Yep.
been talked about in many generations.
Oh my god, yeah.
We have 9/11. We had, oh, my bird flew. We had 9/11. Apparently, Sandy Hook was considered a conspiracy. Jeffrey Epstein's death. All of this. All of this
Yeah.
stuff that happened in our generation that people would consider conspiracy. Hold up. I gotta find my bird. What is your, like, favorite, I guess, or the most interesting to you that you yourself have lived through as a conspiracy? Birds and giraffes aren't real.
Yeah, that's just Ricey making weird noise. She
Oh, yeah.
she doesn't have a bird. We're just trying to cover up a neurotic. Oh, that's hard.
Oh, okay, baby.
To-
All right. Sorry, Oreo was just going cuckoo bananas.
I don't know. Like,
I'm also extending this to chat.
oh
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
this is for our viewers as well. Come join us in all of our conspiracies.
Join us in the conspiracy theories.
Because I want to hear everyone's, like, because there might be some conspiracies that I have personally never heard of. But, like,
Or one we may forget, like Flat Earth.
because we're also dealing with, what was it? The vaccine, the COVID vaccine, having,
Oh my
I don't
God.
know, microchips
5G.
into us.
5G.
Yeah. Like,
Oh shit.
it's just, it boggles my mind. But it's also incredibly interesting to hear about this. Like, I am just enthralled. For example, let's start with Illuminati, because I've named so many, right?
Yeah.
Do you really think that there is this organization of hand-picked people from, and it's not just the US, I believe it's all over the world, that control the world from, like, behind a curtain?
No. I'm not saying that the fraternity mindset, like, there's fraternities everywhere. It's
Yeah.
like this brotherhood kind of thing. I absolutely believe that there is a worldwide brotherhood that is private and it hasn't been made public and everything like that, that it's almost a cult-like thing. That they run things behind a curtain? No. I really don't. I mean, yeah, they can have positions of power, but they're not running the world.
So you don't think they've orchestrated, like, a lot of the bad shit that's been happening
9/11?
to us? Yes.
No. The fall, like, the repetitive collapse of the US economy? No. Like, no, I really don't think so. I really don't think so. I do think...
Also, to any one of those, what was it? If the Illuminati are listening, just understand that these are theories. We don't actually believe it. Please don't come find us and kill us to silence us.
I was about to say, we're Southern women. We'll just shoot their asses.
I'll send my birds. But yeah, no, and it's funny to me personally to read about all of this.
It's almost fantasy. It's
Yeah,
almost fantasy.
How so?
It's just so out there
Right.
that it's like it just has enough reality in it to kind of give it like some substance to make it interesting, but it just feels like fantasy. Like Flat Earth. I took several semesters in astrology. Like, I understand how the Earth was made, how, like, our solar system was made, how our galaxy was made, how our universe was made on a theoretical scale.
Yeah.
To understand that, like, Earth is flat, that's some bullshit. This is some absolute bullshit for your uneducated ass that you can't just bother to go get actual education instead of like cheap ass like knockoff YouTube education.
What if I love
like,
that knockoff YouTube education?
Like I said, it's fantasy. As long as
Yeah.
you don't take this as reality, then sure.
Right. Still,
And if
I'm
you
here
want to
for
take it as reality, question it and do more research on it. Actual research on it.
So, okay. Let me ask you this
It's
then.
just here for a good time.
Right. Let me ask you this then. Do you believe
Yeah.
in time travel? Do you think time travel can exist? Or has
Yeah, but I
existed?
don't know why they be coming back to 2020 and 2021.
I don't think they have. I'm pretty sure they probably skipped this era.
This decade, this
Yeah,
millennial.
because think about it. Okay, this is my thing. I do believe that time travel could exist. You know, that's a topic that a lot of people do think that time travel could
Theory.
exist. Yes. I think wasn't it proven that it can exist even for like a few seconds. I don't think we've mastered time travel to span decades, you know, at all. However,
Like,
I have seen I don't they could have been doctored. I've seen like the photos or whatever. And like I'm
right.
well aware they could be doctored. But it's still interesting to see like in an old photo someone with our modern clothes like in that photo. And again, I still think it's doctored, but it's still funny to see that just to see how
Right.
um yeah, like I just to think that this is a
Again,
possibility.
more fantasy, more entertainment. It's just a lot of this, anyway. It's
Mhm.
just entertainment for me. It's very interesting to see how they can spin facts to make it fiction and
Right.
very entertaining fiction. Um, I really don't think we've even touched on scientifically. I really don't think we've touched on time travel. Because time travel is extremely complicated. Not only do we have to understand the mechanics of time,
Yeah.
but not only are you traveling through time, you're traveling through location. Because
Yes.
we are moving throughout the universe constantly.
Right. So,
And I don't think we have a firm understanding of our universe to be able to time travel
right.
effectively, anyway.
So let me ask you this.
Hmm?
I know they there was what was that theory called? Shit, I just hold up. I gotta look this up. Never mind. Keep talking. I'm gonna look this up.
Maybe one day we'll get like a better understanding of time travel, but I just think there's far, far, far too much going on scientific wise for us to even pretend
That's what it's
that
called.
we have started to understand time travel.
So
Yes.
this is my thing. So they like, um, this is a logical problem that would arise if a person were to travel in the past time. Okay. It's called the grandfather paradox, which
Okay.
is if you go back in time and you kill your grandfather or your relative or whatever, it would prevent you from ever existing in the future, right? So you pretty much just erase that bloodline and you're dead there. Um, so you would immediately be erased from existence. Okay. So, but what if we can't go back in time? What if we can only go forward in time? Then the grandfather paradox wouldn't technically happen.
Because
So
you are
that would
carrying
still,
your you are the one carrying your bloodline then.
yes. Or if I choose not to have children, it doesn't matter. You know,
Right.
I could still travel back in time because I'm like, well, no, because then I would mess up the whole, yeah. So, what if we can't actually travel back but forward in time? That wouldn't technically like possess any potential problems. You just see what the future would be like. And then you would go back to your original time and try and fix it. It won't work, obviously, and it could cause, you know, what was it?
There's a flaw with your argument right then. It's like you can only go forward. Well, you
Right.
can't return.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Well, you can't even return. You can't
That's
return
true.
to
So
fix
like,
whatever problem. So you can
oh,
only move
yeah.
forward.
You can only move forward in time. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So you can't ever go back to your own timeline.
Right.
That'd be interesting.
And the grandfather paradox is only a theory. We still don't understand how time travel can really affect us.
See, I think
Because it could be the traditional Marty McFly Back to the Future kind of
right.
concept
Yes.
of time travel, or for those who have seen like the Avengers Endgame, well, we can go back, we can mess with stuff. It's not going to affect you personally because we are now on a different timeline.
That's true.
So,
Speaking
like,
of, if
again,
we're on a different timeline, are you talking about like parallel universes or alternate timelines?
I think there's a difference between parallel universes and multiverses.
So alternate timelines.
That's the thing, we just don't understand science enough to really even do any of this.
Well, I think there's, like you said, the parallel universes and alternate timelines are kind of ish the same, because the parallel universe is you are living in the same universe, just something slightly different is off. And the reason why I brought this up is because of the Mandela effect, which is also
That's another good one.
Yeah, like I'm segueing into all of these. I'm writing this down. Like I have got, I actually look like a conspiracy theorist with my notebook filled with all these things. Because like
I was about to say, the Mandela effect is a very, like, is one I actually, like, enjoy
I really
reading.
love
Because
it.
it's, like, it's fiction to me. It's, like, a fictional kind of situation.
Yeah.
But there are some conspiracy theories like Jeffrey Epstein that are a very serious thing.
Right. Oh yeah, very, very, very serious.
That is a very serious thing. But the Mandela effect, what's your favorite Mandela effect?
The Berenstein Bears and the Berenstain Bears.
Right.
That is just because when I was a kid, I remember as it being the Berenstein, STIN, instead of the STAIN.
Okay.
And they're like, the STIN never existed. And I'm like, you motherfucker, I know it did.
Actually, I read probably about 8 months ago or something that it was a misprint. That, like, the publishing company came out that it was a misprint.
So it did exist.
Mm-hmm.
And a select few books that I possibly had when I was a
Like,
kid.
select few books and or, I think, like, VHS cases.
Uh-huh.
So but I didn't read the Berenstein Bears. I kind of watched it as a kid, but I'm a stupid person I'm a stupid person. I like spelling just goes over my head. I'm just going to assume whatever I'm reading is what it is unless I take a closer look at it. And I didn't as a kid. So people are like Berenstein and Berenstein, I'm like sure. I wasn't paying attention.
Right.
But one that I know me and you have talked about is the Fruit of the Looms cornucopia.
Oh, yes. I do remember the cornucopia exists. I remember it does exist. Are they saying that it didn't?
Yeah.
No, it existed.
Yeah.
I fucking remember it existed. I think that was also a misprint.
Right. I feel like it was just like a limited thing.
See, I think also Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A and the Fruit of the Loom. Those to me are the best. Because
what do you mean Chick-fil-A? What are you talking about?
How do you spell Chick-fil-A?
CHICK-FIL-A.
It used to be CHIC. There was no K.
Oh.
So it's Chick-fil-A, not with the K.
Oh. That's a new one. I hadn't heard of that one.
Oh, really? I remember it being CHIC. When I spelled it, I'm pretty sure in the past, I spelled it CHIC. My bird is agreeing with me. CHICFIL-A. Chick-fil-A.
Huh.
And the K didn't exist. And I remember, I'm like, wait, because when I first heard about the Mandela effect, and I saw it, I was like, wait, there's no K? But I'm sure it was okay. Uh, it's always interesting to hear what universe different people originated from. Am I from another universe? How did I enter this universe? But like, it's stuff like that,
Right.
and it's funny because everyone collectively can remember it being one way, and then like another group would be like, no, this never existed, and we're like, oh, you motherfucker, yes it did. Don't test me. Oh man. But I
Man,
just
another
I pulled
fun
up the
thing
fruit of
to
the
just
loom.
talk about. More fun shit to talk about.
Yeah. Oh,
Because we've talked about the Mandela effect at lengths in person to
because
one another.
it's interesting.
It is. It is.
Like,
Well, we should explain what the Mandela effect is.
oh, here's one apparently. I just stumbled upon this.
Okay.
It's a Star Wars one, okay?
Han shot first.
C3PO, right?
Okay. Yeah, the gold one. Yes.
Yes. Apparently it is not all gold. He has one silver piece on his right leg.
Yeah.
I never knew that. I thought he was all gold.
Yeah, he's always had a silver leg.
Never knew that. I swear I thought it was gold.
So, okay, here's the thing. You would know him as all gold, or like a white kind of gold, because of the prequel. You're more familiar with the prequels than the actual sequels.
Right.
Or like the original. So in the original, yes, he has a silver leg.
Interesting.
Why he does, though, I don't remember, but he does. I don't know why that's considered a Mandela effect.
Oh, here's another Mandela effect. This is a Disney one. I'm looking through this on a website, right? These are 40 examples. In Disney Snow White, do they say mirror mirror on the wall? Does the Wicked Queen say mirror mirror on the wall? Apparently not. Instead,
I think she addresses it mirror mirror. I don't think she says on the wall. I think she's like mirror mirror. She says something.
She says magic mirror on the wall. She never says mirror mirror. Yeah. So where do we get mirror mirror from?
Oh, so that's one.
That is one, right?
Okay, so that reminded me of another Mandela effect. There is this actress that it's like, they like me. They really like me. Or like an award speech for something, like the Oscars or the Academy or something. She'd received her award. She'd gone up. She's like, they like me. They really like me. Which is like an iconic kind of quote now.
Yeah.
Apparently, she actually never said that at that speech.
That's so interesting. So this is why I think
and people swear it. And even like there are later interviews with her, like on night shows, with interviews and stuff, and she'll quote herself saying that. But when you go look at the actual footage from the speech, she doesn't say it that way.
See, this is what I'm talking about when I say like alternate universes and stuff. Just because it's a slight change. It's a small change that
I just think our brains are dumb and don't remember what they actually remember.
You think?
Yeah.
But
especially
I swear,
with someone who has a dumb brain. My brain is dumb as fuck.
Say what?
My brain is dumb as fuck. So it's just like, you're like Berenstain and Berenstain. I'm like, probably. I don't know.
See, okay. One thing that got me, I remember I was so heated about, was the Chick-fil-A one. Because I swear up and down on this earth, it was CHIC. I swear up and down. And like, a lot of people agreed with me. And it wasn't until I saw the Mandela effect explained to me, and they're like, yeah, everyone remembers it being CHIC. And I'm like, you motherfucker, let's go to Chick-fil-A now. I'll see it for myself. And I did. And I was like, then, you have a crisis. You're like, was it always like this? Was I always crazy? Thank you, Oreo.
I have a personal one that, like,
Oh,
again, this
yes.
is why I just say it's like people's brains are just dumb. This is my personal Mandela effect. I don't know how to spell sweet. I can never, because it's like I swore up and down for years. I even like went to like McDonald's and confirmed this to spell sweet. I don't know how to spell it. They have it like on their like tea urns that say sweet tea.
Oh.
And I would spell it that way, and then suddenly it's not spelled that way anymore.
You're jumping through parallel universes. That's what it is.
And like I've gone back to McDonald's. I'm like, holy shit! I know they have this on their tea urns.
Right.
So when I struggle with sweet versus sweat, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what SWEAT is. I don't know if that's sweet or sweat.
SWEAT is sweat.
Okay.
Sweet
so
is like the easiest. Yeah. The way that I can remember it being for me, it's sweet. Because it's two E's. So it's
okay.
Sweet.
Like that Mississippi sweet tea.
Yeah. It's super sweet.
Thank you, because that's one of those things. It's like I just feel like I'm like it's people's brains just being stupid.
So it's not
my
being
brain's stupid.
I was about to say, like, I had trouble spelling because I wasn't a big reader or speller or anything like that. Because you know how your teachers are like, well, spell it how it sounds. Bitch, I did. And you're still telling me it's wrong. Exactly.
Read and read.
Like, yeah.
Read and read. Lead and lead.
I was like, fuck that. There, and there. Like, there's too many.
God.
The English language sucks.
Fuck English.
Yeah. Oh God, the English language sucks. But moving on. So like, this is why I personally believe that alternate universes and parallel universes exist, because there could be a change, just a slight one, just a fraction of one. And we could have, something could have changed.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Chick-fil-A app right now and it's spelled CHICK and I'm just like, no. But yeah. So I know we only have 30 minutes to kind of talk about other conspiracy theories.
I think Oreo has some conspiracy theories that he
Oreo
has
thinks I'm
opinions
talking.
about.
Yeah, he wants me to give him scritches. So alternate timelines, parallel universes. We talked about aliens and time travel. Those are all things that I personally, these are like one of my favorites to talk about, especially with like what we said, the Mandela effect and everything.
Right.
And I know you agree that these are some things that I know you really like to talk about. But in your situation, yeah, what are something that you like to like think about that I personally haven't talked about yet?
Oh, like I feel like we've talked about everything.
Okay, well here's one.
We've talked about like especially Mandela effect. We've talked about the Mandela effect at length.
Oh yeah.
Off podcast. So it's like I feel like we've kind of covered a lot of things. Like the only thing that we haven't really covered is like the moon landing, and it's just like can't really fake it. Like people have tried to fake the moon landing and it didn't work.
Let me ask you then. Okay? This is one of my other personal favorites of I don't know if this would be considered a conspiracy theory. But do you believe that Atlantis exists or existed?
I think it did exist. I think in the past it did. Because who is it? Plato, the famous like philosopher, like was referring to it. And
do you think he was just, saying it just so people would believe him?
No, I think it was like common information. I think Atlantis was a much more common civilization. Now there are some theories like, oh, Atlanteans were aliens or Atlanteans or subterraneans. But I feel like it was just like a commonplace that everybody kind of knew that just ended up disappearing off the face of the earth, just like Troy did.
That's
But because
true.
we had the Iliad and the Odyssey,
We
we
knew
we had
existed.
we like well we for a long, long time people thought it was just a fable,
Uh-huh.
like a Greek fable, until someone like sat down and compared. It's like, oh, they're referring to this location. It's now called this location, and it was like 50 miles to the east or whatever, like 1,000 years ago or whatever,
Yeah.
and pieced it together. And it's just like, in theory, Troy is supposed to be here, and they started digging there and found Troy.
That's so
I just,
interesting. So we're
I
never
just
going to
don't.
find Atlantis. Is that what you're telling me? The
I,
lost empire of Atlantis.
I until we find documentation of it, more documentation of it, I don't really think we are. Just like I don't think we're really gonna find Eden. We're both
The garden.
Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Garden of Eden. We're both Christian people. We believe, based off our religious text, the Bible, the Garden of Eden existed, and we have known locations of where it could be.
my
But
thing is, okay, speaking as a Christian, these
yeah,
theories, the Ark of the Covenants. That's what
that's a
I
good
want
one.
to find. Like,
That's a fun one to like read into and kind
oh,
of watch people try and find it. That's a
yeah.
lot of fun.
But I do believe that it's going to remain unfound. Like,
Yes.
I don't, I guess it could have been deteriorated or something. I don't know if it could have been preserved or not. Like, for all we know, I do think it's going to
I
remain unfound. Kind of like the Holy Grail, stuff like
I
that.
don't I don't think the Holy Grail is ever going to be found. I think it, like you stated, it deteriorated. It's long gone to time.
Right.
With the Holy Grail, not the Holy Grail, the Ark of the Covenant, don't I don't think it's going to be found. Like, as a religious person, it's not going to be found until it is time for it to reappear in history, according to our religious text. Um, so
See,
we're not going to find it until it is ready to be brought out. Um,
like, it's okay. So let me go ahead and tell you
Actually,
what
there is
got
a
me into.
theory that it is
Go ahead.
located in a shrine, that it's locked away
Mm-hmm.
and preserved in a shrine, and that there is a guardian for it. And people can go up and talk to the guardians, but they can't enter that temple.
That's what's so funny because you can't, even in the Bible, you're not allowed to go into the temple.
Right.
They had like certain areas that you could and could not go into. But I don't know if it's actually been truly found because no one's seen it. But you also cannot see it because you could die. You know. Man, I love this shit. I love talking about this stuff because like it's very very interesting to me. And you know what got my interest peaked for like lost civilizations and conspiracy theories and stuff like that was the
Atlantis?
no, it was Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because there's
Yeah.
also like you hear about like back in the times of like the Nazis, they started reading into the occults because like you see those in movies now, like how Nazi Germany like what was it tapped into the occults to try and win the war and everything.
Yeah.
And like in video games, it's referenced like in video games and in like movies and everything like that. And in Indiana Jones, that's what they did is they tried to grab the Ark of the Covenant for power and stuff like that. You agree, don't you, Oreo? Yes, you do. So I'm like, these conspiracy theories though, this shit good. You agree? Yeah.
Well, like a lot of like
And Atlantis being one of them. Oh, Atlantis.
of course Atlantis for you, but a lot of historians are like, yeah, they were doing research into like the occult slash almost science fiction to try and gain an
Yes.
edge in the war.
Yes.
Um,
And
they're
that's
different.
just so fascinating for me. Because did
I
any of the stuff that they did actually work?
uh
Like, and we just never seen it. Like, no one ever talks about like or it's never come to light that that's a thing that happened.
Well, like a lot of it's just people feel like it's kind of crazy talk just because it's just kind of so out there.
But this is also conspiracy theories. Wouldn't that be considered?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know. It's Nazis. I feel like a lot of people. I don't know. It's very
it's a touchy
complicated around
subject.
Nazis. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nazis are a very touchy subject. It's just like, oh, like anything of Nazis should be like removed and burned and everything like that. But it's
Uh-huh.
like, but we should do research on what they were trying to do, what they were doing, the mindsets of things like that. But people could take that to an extreme and worship them kind of situation.
I see.
So it is unfortunately very complicated.
I can understand that. I can
Yeah.
understand not wanting to talk about it because of that. So then let's talk about what we have. What was it? We already talked about the Illuminati. And what was it?
Nicolas Cage's National Treasure.
Yes.
That was a good movie, okay?
No, it is. It is. I won't deny it. I won't deny it. So while because like I still have, I think, several different conspiracies, but also for anyone else who's listening, drop some of yours. I would love to hear it. Right, Oreo? Right. I really think Oreo thinks I'm talking to him. What was it? What is a popular conspiracy theory that like, because like I've already talked about so many of mine, and when you I don't know if you knew when you asked me, hey, let's talk about conspiracy theories, that I would have so many. Because
No, I knew you had some because we've talked about aliens and the Mandela effect before.
right, no, you have to hear when I talk about it with my husband, because we will go on and on about all kinds of, especially aliens.
I find aliens very interesting. Aliens
agree.
used to scare me really bad as a child, but now it's just like I'm fascinated by them. I don't
Yeah.
understand what caused that change. Probably Lilo and Stitch. Probably.
Oh yeah.
And Buzz Lightyear.
One of them, okay, I think I got into conspiracy theories and like thinking of all like time travel and all that was because of Twilight Zone, because I grew up watching the Twilight Zone with my grandfather.
Yeah.
So, and of course they dealt with aliens, they dealt with alternate timelines, they dealt with time travel, they dealt with all these like sci-fi things that we see now. And I'm like, Twilight Zone. Are you a conspiracy theory? How do you know of this? How do you know of all this? But yeah, like that's how I got into thinking of, like, in that kind of things, because I do believe conspiracy theories and sci-fi go hand in hand. Because it's the imagination. It's like, what if this and this concept, and you can create.
Them have to have like some grain of reality in it to grow this
Yes.
fantasy.
Yes, and it's wonderful to see that. Like, okay, have you seen or read Ready Player One?
I haven't seen or read either of them. I didn't really want to watch the movie because it didn't really seem that interesting to me. I wasn't in a reading kick when it came out, or when the movie came out and made the book very popular.
Ah, okay.
And you can spoil it for me. I don't think I'll ever really watch it
Well-
seriously. I may watch it for the little like game cameos.
No. I'm just talking about just in virtual reality. If you know the concept of the whole virtual reality in the game, right? Because virtual reality was just a concept for a while. It was something like that you could read about in sci-fi. Oh, you put on these goggles, or you go into this chamber and you're in like another worlds, right? And someone took that idea and made it happen. And now we have, the Oculus Quest, or the, what was it?
VR chat.
VR chat, all of this stuff.
Where you spin yourself
it became
sick.
real. Yeah. So my thing is this: do you think, and this is just a theory, this is just
Okay.
like just spouting, that We are already in a simulation.
Oh, you think we're in the Matrix?
Yeah. Could it be a possibility? Because that would also trigger like the Mandela effect.
Yeah, having
There
glitch
could
in
be a
the
glitch in
system.
the system. And have you ever seen? Oh my God! Have you ever seen the videos or the gifs of people who actually glitch? Like
No.
in there's oh my gosh. Okay, I'm all right. Hold up. Pause,
Yeah.
everybody. I I have to show this to you because it's fascinating because you don't know if again we don't know if it's been doctored or anything like that, but like it proves that we could possibly be living in a simulation. And we've been living in this simulation for so long, or maybe not, what was it? We could all lived in a simulation or be a part of this program for so long that we don't recognize that we are already in this program, you know? Um,
But why would we be in a simulation? Like with the Matrix, it
okay.
kind
Yeah, with the Matrix, it kind of makes sense.
it doesn't even really make sense, but it's like they had a theory as to why they were using humans to power the machinery, even though there were a million other different forms of or sources of power that would allow them to maintain control without
Uh-huh.
using humans. Humans were just a writing plot.
I have got to like okay, all right. Yes and no. Because think about it. What if we were put in a simulation to see how, like, let's say like aliens did exist and they put us all in a simulation just to see how we as humans live, if it's worth saving or not
Then they
as
should have
humans.
retconned us in 2020.
Who's to say they haven't? Who's to say that they're like, okay, now we have enough people here. Let's start doing this project where everyone is, as a collective whole, the entire world is dealing with this pandemic. Would they come together? Would they start a war? What will they do? How would they handle this? And they just sit there and they observe. Who's to say that's not a thing?
Okay, they still should have retconned us in like 2020. Just end our misery. But why?
I'm
Here's the
telling
thing: is like,
you.
why would they do simulations like this? Why would they study
Maybe
us
our
for
brains
that
are too
reason?
puny. We don't understand why. Maybe that's it. Maybe our brains are too puny and we will never understand why. That could be a possibility. Maybe there's some
So
maybe there's a reason or something that we cannot understand why. Okay, so there are several videos. However, I want to watch them and then I'll show you which ones are the best that I've seen. And we can do that after the podcast. But like I'm saying, I'm slapping the wall of like the red strings and papers behind me, and I'm like, conspiracy theories. We could be
it's
in a
all
matrix.
connected.
It's all connected. I can go on and on and on and on. It would be because I do think that I know I spoke to my husband about it, like us living in a simulation. And it's interesting to see, okay, well, how would they fare if they thought they created virtual reality or something like that? How would they use it? And then, of course, we created VR chat. Because humans
Escape the simulation.
escape the simulation. Or maybe we're so far in the future, we created a simulation to see how it was like to live in the past. Who knows? These are all possibilities that could happen. So it would be a safer
Interesting theory.
right, because it would be a safer bet of seeing how we were in the past without actually time traveling and messing it up. The music in the background kind of makes it seem like is she actually saying this?
Oh my goodness. Ridiculous,
Are you a
ridiculous.
camera? Are you real? Oreo? Are you a real life burb?
No.
Or do you work for the bourgeoisie?
He's bougie.
Bourgeoisie.
He's the bougie.
Bougie bird. Anyway, those are all my theories. I'm sorry, like, I'm talking crazy.
I
But
mean,
these are
yeah,
some
because
things
it's
that I've,
conspiracy theories.
yeah, but like, these are also things that I just love thinking about. Like, I genuinely love to think about these things. I, because of course, like, there is a possibility. There's always going to be that possibility, but we will never ever get straight facts, either because the government doesn't want us to, or the Illuminati, or we just
True.
so, or we just haven't reached, that level of intelligence or technology to I guess prove it.
Or civilization where we're actually civil.
Here's an idea. Do you
Yeah.
believe that if the Library of Alexandria didn't burn, would we be light years away from like technology and like advancement as a civilization?
God, like the burning of Alexandria just makes my heart
It
hurt
makes
every
everybody's heart
time.
hurt. Yep.
Every time. No, probably. It would I think
That's
we would
another
have a
theory.
better understanding of our world and the societies around our world. I bet it held information about where Atlantis was. I bet it has uh it would have probably introduced um the East, the
Mm.
civilizations of the East to Westerners a lot sooner and had us more um culturally sensitive to them instead of being extremely culturally insensitive to them. Um, I bet it would advance like archaeology. I bet it would advance a lot of stuff. I don't know if it would necessarily have a direct response to technology and science. But I think it would have been uh better to unite the world as a whole.
See, I think that if it didn't burn, something else would have happened to it. Like,
So you think it was burned on purpose?
yeah,
Hmm.
this is my thing. Like, it could have been accidental or whatever,
Yeah.
but even now, as in the like, we're sitting, you know, thousands of years in the future, hundreds and thousands of
Yeah.
years or whatever in the future, we knew the power that the Library of Alexandria held. So if we knew this, then definitely if it didn't burn, like someone would try and claim that knowledge for themselves. They wouldn't want to share it with the world. They would want to keep it for themselves because we as humans are selfish. So if it wasn't burned then, it probably would have been burned like eventually down the line or conquered and taken, or some of the books that they wanted to have they would have had, and like other books of knowledge they would probably erase, because even in today's age we try to erase a lot of the past, not only in the US but around the world. There's just some things that we just don't want to deal with, so we try to erase it and hope to never let it like come to light. So let's say someone in power has the Library of Alexandria, they could have the power to remove and erase history.
I don't
And
think so. I don't think they like. I don't think the library would have allowed that. I
I
think
mean, it's
at
already
some.
burned, so like I can't say what it would and wouldn't allow. That's why I'm like, maybe because of how much knowledge it possessed, it could have been burned on purpose because of how much knowledge it possessed. And those that hold that knowledge holds the power. It's all about the knowledge, man. And I'm just sitting here thinking, hmm, hmm, maybe that's why it was burned. You know, and anyone who's like, if I go, you know, if I had the ability to time travel, I'll stop the Library of Alexandria from burning. Well, in this alternate timeline, it's still burned. So I guess we haven't technically you know, gone back in time to try and
I
save
think
it?
if the library had been handled better, or it may have been handled to this point, and it's just not safe for that information to get out,
Yeah.
or that it's a lost location, like many places on Earth, um, that they would have started copying the books and sending it to another location.
You think?
Yeah, because a lot of those books were copies.
Mm.
They were from diplomats, and that diplomats brought books that were copied by scribes in Alexandria for the records.
Hmm.
So it was a hub for multiple languages and multiple.
Yeah, that's right. It had so much knowledge. I
Like I
still
said,
think
it
that
would have
if we
been a
could.
great uniter for the world.
No, if it. See, this is, again, it could. I don't think we would ever achieve like world peace or even a uniter for the world because we're too selfish of like people. And there would be someone down the line who would want to control it, control who
Yeah.
gets knowledge and where.
Right.
Genuinely believe that. Just because even now it feels like okay, we'll talk about what was it? Knowledge, controlling knowledge and whatever. You got QAnon who say they have
Oh
all
my
these.
god.
Okay, look, this is important for the
It's
Library of
uh,
Alexandria, okay?
all
So
right.
they try to control this knowledge of like, oh, spouting things. QAnon.
Okay.
I'm not going to even give them the time of day of what they spout. I'm not even going to give that. But it's only knowledge to a select few. And this is just the QAnon group, right?
Mhm.
It's only knowledge that only a select few are allowed to possess. Why is that? And that in itself is conspiracy. So you mean to tell me that if the Library of Alexandria, someone down the line would try and take over the Library of Alexandria and control the knowledge within? That's why I'm like, maybe there was a reason it burned. It hurts. Boy, does it hurt like a motherfucker because of all that knowledge. But I think it would have been selfish to think like otherwise. Like, if it didn't burn then someone would have tried to control it, now. So we all have a fond memory of the library, like now. However, we also can't possess time travel to go back in time and save it because there must be a reason why. There has to be a reason why. It's also a fixed point of history that we can't change. It's so big and vast that we cannot change it. Because in doing so, it would cause one of the biggest ripple effects in history. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we can't change it. I mean, I don't know. I'm just going on. I'm spouting all these things. I'm sounding like a crazy person, but those are all my theories. Because these are just some interesting things. But anyway, what are your thoughts? I'm just sounding like a crazy person.
I mean, you are. It's nothing new. We're fine with it. Um.
You accept me for who I am.
Eh. Sure. Why not?
More or less.
Well, you're my co-host. I can't do much with you.
Oh, you love me. You know
Um.
you do.
I love you for your dog and your bird.
Oh, Oreo, she doesn't love me.
Or he's like, I don't care. Pet me. Scritch.
Yeah,
Give me scritch.
he just wants scritches. Anyway.
He's like, yes, scritches. I do
Yeah.
love you. I love you a lot. I'm very grateful I have you as a friend. Even when you got your tinfoil hat tightened a little too tight, on a little too tight.
Listen,
Go.
but this is why you were like, hey, I do want to talk about conspiracy theories. And I was just like, are you sure you want to talk about conspiracy theories? Because let me bust out my notebook. I got a lot of things we can talk about.
Let me, like, straighten my tinfoil hat,
Yeah.
cover up my glasses, and let's dive into this 600-page book.
Yeah, I see I am willing to admit that I love listening and talking about it. Now, do I truly believe it? Again, it's just theories. But I
Yeah.
still love to talk about them. I find
I
it
mean, like,
better
there are
to
some
never.
that it's like, yeah, I do believe, like, aliens. Yeah,
Yes.
they're Something is out there. Where they are,
Yes.
I have no idea.
Yes. And I personally like I personally don't want to ever find out the real answer because it just keeps my curiosity going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because maybe along the line we'll find another Mandela effect, and I'm just like, ooh, there's a glitch in the system, or and like in the simulation, or someone in time, someone messed with time and changed the name, or something like that, or an alternate universe. It's it keeps me to think, it keeps me curious, and keeps me thinking. And if I just had the answer right then and there, it takes that away, and I'm like, well, okay then. I personally just like being curious. I'm okay not, especially with conspiracy theories, I'm okay not knowing the answer. I love
Yeah.
to talk about it and spout these theories that we never truly will believe in. But like, still, it's very interesting to think about and see. Anyway, that's all I got to say.
Yeah.
You take it away.
Who are you? Give us your information.
I am. I lost my train of thought. I am Ricey because I was like a bowl of Ricey. Yes, I'm a bowl of Ricey, but people can call me Ricey. I do streams. I'm actually having a stream in an hour at 1 p.m. with King Kaoru. So if you guys want to join that, we'll be playing. What was it?
Baldur's Gate.
Thank you. Baldur's Gate. And who are you?
I'm Mickey Ree. You will find me here at What's Your Opinion podcast, and you will find me playing with either a bowl of Ricey sometimes, or Chelsor the Destroyer, or Sincry. I don't stream. I don't really have the internet to stream, or the setup. I really don't have the setup to stream. But you'll find me sticking around and playing with these guys, whooping their asses in Splatoon.
Yeah.
But you can always find me and Ricey here at What's Your Opinion podcast, and on our Twitter at What's Your Opin 10. That is What's Your Opin 10. And maybe Ricey will link those videos she finds to the Twitter. So y'all, if y'all want to watch with us, you can watch them from Twitter.
I'll have to be after my other stream, but yes, because like, okay, yes. You all would have seen them. I mean, glitches in the Matrix. I gotta write this down so I'll remember, because every time I seen them, I'm like, are we living in a simulation?
Nah, you're just crazy.
Is this an actual plausible thing?
That's fine. You're crazy. It's all good. It's nothing new.
Oh man. Okay, hold up. I'm writing this down. So, glitch in the Matrix. All right. So is that everything for today?
I think so. I feel like it is.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm glad we put on our tinfoil hats and everything. I'm glad we have like a collective agreement that the birds work for the bourgeoisie.
Yeah.
They're just cameras to monitor us.
I think you need to like replace the battery in Oreo. I think he's dying.
He's a faulty one. That's why they sold them. But I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. We will see you next week with another interesting topic, because I actually had a lot of fun with this one, as you can see. But we hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you next Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Time. I was going to say PM.
Good job not saying PM.
I was about to say PM. But yeah, you guys, you'll have a good one, and we'll see you then.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.